Welcome to another episode of Another Warning from the Watchman, Not Another Judgment. Today, we're going to get at a one-part piece of a two-part piece video, and the segment title of this one is going to be The Secret Language of the Witches. Okay? It's called Witch Language. Alright? The second part piece is going to be on how this thing called witch language has even, and purposely done, been rooted into the English language in itself, like the words that we speak in general. If we're not careful with what we say before we say it, and we don't check the root of, like Scripture tells us to do, check the root of these things, be aware of that, then, you're left saying words that you think you know what they mean, but you don't know the origin root. And so that one is going to be on how it's been put into the English language. But for this segment today is going to be on how they use it in the music industry. And again, it's also purposely been done. And it's been done a long time ago. This is old knowledge. This isn't some new information they just now started doing it type of thing, So we're gonna take this step by step, guys. And so if you could please, while you can, press pause if you need to. Grab a pen or a pencil and some paper, a notebook, something like that to write down, because you're going to want to take notes, especially for those of you that love your music. When I found out about this, I already kind of knew that the music in general of the secular area of music was not good, that it was of the world and bad, or secular is sexual, but I didn't know on how demonic it was, until I did some more digging, and a lot of people think the only demonic groups are people like your metal bands, your rock bands, your Marilyn Manson, your Korn, your whoever it is, Obviously those people are evil, that they're allowed by the media, by the system that tells them what to do and how to do it. They're allowed to just be dark. But they do this right in front of you, regardless of, simple people like Katy Perry or T.I. is another, Chris Brown, Eminem, Tupac, Snoop Dogg. Let's name some different type of music. John Lennon, Aerosmith, Rush, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. All of this music purposely was written in a thing called witch language. Okay? And so we're going to get into detail of it and, why it's all done and how it's done, and give you guys proof that this is real, that it's not just I'm making all this up. I spent long hours on putting all of this together, word for word. I put some scriptures in there for you guys too. So let's get started though, guys. I just wanted to kind of break down what we're going to be going through a little bit for you guys before I actually got to it. So let's get to it right now. We're going to start with, since music has to do with the media, let's break down the word media. Okay? Now, the individual letters of the word media stand for something different. So the letter M in media stands for multi. The letter E in the word media stands for the word ethnic. The D in media stands for destruction. The I in media stands for in, the word in. And the A in media stands for America. So if we put that together, we've got multi-ethnic destruction in America. All right? So that right there is another, it's kind of one of their agendas. They want to destruct America, the people of, through the media, So let's get into the details of Scripture and what Scripture says about these evil people that have done this to the language, to the music, and they've all done it on purpose. Let's pull out one scripture. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I will put a few with this. And the first scripture of this one, for the part of this video that's going to be scripture, the first one is going to be Isaiah 29:15. And that reads and says, "Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel." Counsel means like the way of preaching something. So, woe to them that seek to hide their counsel, that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the darkness, and their works are in the dark. And they say, "Who seeth us? Who knoweth us?" Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Okay? So right there, what it's telling us in the very first part of that scripture, or in the middle part of that scripture, is how to identify the ways of the wicked. Said, "Woe unto them that seek their way, or that seek to hide their counsel, or that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, saying, Who seeth us? Who knoweth us?" That right there is the elite, if you will. They hide their little images, so they turn stuff upside down, stuff like that. So for example, for that one, on this scripture that I've tied to it, of the, being able to identify the ways of the wicked when you turn it upside down, since we're talking about the music industry, I put aside an example of that, turning things upside down to identify it. And one of the newest Jay-Z albums is titled 444. If you follow the directions of what this scripture just now said, and you turn that upside down, that turns into 666. Okay? The album before that was 99 Problems. I got 99 problems, but ain't one. Everybody, you guys know that song. Okay, well, the song called 99 Problems just happened to be the 9th track on that album. Turn that upside down, and the 9th track of the song called 99 Problems, that's 666. If it's track 9 and the song is called 99 Problems, and you turn that album upside down, again, that's 3 6s. Let me real quick kind of try to grab another scripture real quick on how they do what they do. Okay, yeah, here we go. Now, this is actually I'll explain it after I read it. So the scripture that I want you to turn to, please, with me, is Matthew 4, chapter 4, Matthew chapter 4, verse 8 through 9. Okay? And that says, and the devil mountain satteth and satteth. I need to rewrite that. This is the scripture that talks about how how the devil met with Christ in the desert, and turn this bread into stone, bow down to me, and all of this saith unto him, all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him. Oh yeah, okay, so the devil met with Christ on the mount and said, see all of this, see all of these kingdoms and their glory. If you bow down to me and bow down and worship me, all of this you shall have. Which is, basically saying the devil met with Christ in the desert and said, if you bow down to me, I'll give you all of this, all the gold, all the glory, all these kingdoms, all the diamonds, all the Ferraris, all the pretty women, all the drugs. You get where I'm going at? They took that deal from the devil. They went to these people that Satan works through, that are powerful, that we call the elite, and they have a lot of money. You know what I mean? So the people that want to be famous, they go to these people, and hey, what do I gotta do? Like, what do I gotta do I want to make music? You literally have to sell your soul. You have to do like Christ did, and you meet the devil, and the devil says, hey, if you bow down to me, then all of this is yours, and you can have all of it. All the diamonds, all of it. Everything, anything you want is yours, as long as you bow down to the devil. is what he was saying. And so these people that are your musicians, and you listen to them on the radio and you watch their videos and you care about what they are doing and, you know, who did what and all that stuff. These days, people, you can backtrack this yourself. In order to record music, in order to be a musician and have albums out and be rich, you have to sell your soul. You have to bow down like Lucifer was or like the devil was telling Jesus in the desert. They took that offer. You know, the devil came to them and said, you do this and all of this is yours. Well, they did that. And this music that they write, if you know who Satan is, he was the most beautiful angel, and he was the choir leader angel. So that right there tells you that he's really good with music. Okay? So let's get down to the details of these things. Okay? Now, everybody that listens to music, you'll know that this music has been, you know, that they pre-record it before it's put out, months in advance. There's a reason for that. That reason is that there is a machine that they record the music on. Looks like a big 8-track. Okay, for those of you that know what an 8-track is, it looks like a big 8-track that records the music. It's got 2 tapes that wind. That's what records your music. Okay, so that machine is called the master. So they record the music onto the master, and months in advance this is done. And on the night of the full moon, they bring that the master. They take the master, that machine. They take that into the temple room. That room is upstairs in every big name record company, the Rockefeller, all that. And that's just one big one, but there's a bunch of big ones. And now, in every single one of your big name record company offices in the buildings, way upstairs, hidden in behind locked doors of the executive office. Like, you walk into the executive offices of these recording studios. Inside of that room, there's another door. That door leads to what they call the temple room. They take the master, they take that machine into that room, and the elite hand choose 13 witches and warlocks. Witches are females, warlocks are males. And these witches, inside of this room, the albums are placed in the middle of the floor inside of this temple room, and in the middle of the floor, engraved, is a pentagram. Now, these witches gather in this room and they summon up a demon, and the witches and the warlocks, they order that demon, after they conjure up or they summon that demon with your music in the middle of this pentagram. When they summon up the demon, they order that demon to tell the demons under him to follow every single track on all of the albums. that are recorded on that master, that machine. Every album that is recorded on that machine called the master, the witches order the demon to order the demons under him to follow every single track on every single one of your albums that are in your stores right now and the ones that you listen to. There's so many spirits connected to your music. Now, the other side of this is that the songs were also purposely written in a thing called witch language. Again, I said this segment is going to be the secrets of the witch language. Now, we'll go a little further into that in the second part of this video that's going to be talking about how they put the witch language purposely even rooted into the English language itself. But that's for the other part of this video. So for right now, let's get to it's called witch language, okay? And what that is you take the English words and you break them up, or the root origins of these words, and a lot of people, you just listen to your music and you start maybe even over time you bobbing your head to the beat kind of thing. Even that though, like, slow that down and look at what I'm doing, okay? I'm bobbing my head. So if you slow that down, it looks like you're bowing down to something, okay? Ever heard anybody say, the music's got a hold on me? This music's got a hold on me. The music's got a hold on you? So you're saying that something is controlling you, okay? And I'm even at fault sometimes. I catch myself though. My friends will be listening to some trash, whatever it is, and I'll eventually, like, at first I'm like, okay, nope, I already know what that is. But over time, sometimes the beat, the sound of it gets me to start moving, and it starts getting a hold of you. Like, it starts to move you and affect you. You know what I mean? So the witch language is the trick on words, okay? We need to be aware of the root origin of what we say. We need to think about what we say before we say it. That's why they say that. I've had even foreigners tell me, and I've wondered for years until now. Now I'm like, wow, boom, mind blower. This is sad, but I've had foreigners come to me and tell me that they think America is evil. They think Americans are evil. And I've even actually been told by specifically a Hindu lady once that, and even that word once, hear the hissing in my voice? That's what the lady told me. She said that the main reason why they think that Americans are evil is because in the tone of language, in the words, is one of the few that has the hissing sound, like a serpent, like a snake, okay? Now, again, the witch language, because it's in our language, it's in the music. the music industry calls this witch language thing. Yeah, they call the witch language incantations. The word is incantations. You can look that up, and what that is it's used to the play on words. Okay, that's what this word means, incantations. It means to play on words and to I'm sorry, I lost my spot in my mind there. To play spells, to put it bluntly, to put it in a long story short, is that this incantations thing, the witch language, it's used so that, you know, when you're in your car and you're moving to the movement, you know, these rappers know what they're doing. They got you dancing and moving to the movement. You know, they're placing spells on you. That's what they're doing. They organize this music specifically in a fashion, you know, done a certain way. And what it is, you know, it gets you to move. You get that first, right? You get to move into, oh, I like that. That sounds nice. And then you, da 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 da, or whatever the words are, you know. And so that leaves you with, you're saying the words and you don't know what the root origin of these words are. So what that was, why the reason of doing that, why they did that, was because you can, a witch or a Wiccan or pagan or whoever practices witchcraft and does spells of any kind, they can put a spell themselves. Like, if I'm the witch and I'm at my house, I can put a spell, and if I know how to do the spell, I can put a spell on a person if they're not a believer. But I can, the witch can do all of what they want to do, all the spells they want. But if that person that they're trying to put the spell on is a believer, they can't, the witch themselves cannot put the spell on the believer. So they got to working, and they got up a little tricky way called incantations, called witch language, to trick people into saying these words. They trick the people into saying these spells. That's another thing. We learn to spell when we're in school. That's going to be another one. Side note that is put into the second part of this video. So they did it purposely so that for at least the Christians, you know, and if I'm I am a Christian, but so I'm the Christian, but I decide I'm going to go and I'm going to listen to some Jay-Z, or I'm going to listen to some Beyonce, and I think, because I don't know the name, I don't know the root origin of these words and what all this means, and I just go for the beat and la-di-da and fall for it. That's why they did it, because a lot of people are lazy and they don't even, like, you wouldn't think it's bad, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta take what people are giving you as a grain of salt and actually look into what you're looking at. Don't just, oh, okay, cool, thanks. I hope this is actually a good thing, because it might not be, you know. So overall, the message of this whole thing is that they have put the music in witch language so that when you say the words, you put the spell on yourself. Okay? That's what we're getting at right there. That's why they did it. And all of them, like I mean, I already just told you that they had to sell their soul to Lucifer, to Baphomet. That's what they call it. So they all worship the devil, all of them. And we need to pay attention, you know, because even like, let me break down, for example, this little, oh wow, I never even noticed that. Everybody knows, I mentioned a second ago, with the names of the artists that are into this, you know, you have to be, I think I said this earlier, you have to be a witch or a warlock in order to record music nowadays. Period. If you don't want to believe me, fine. But that's the truth. It is what it is. You know, they put the witch language for a reason. They're casting spells in the music. By writing your music in witch language, which roots from words of Latin and or Greek or Roman, or Roman. All of that language that's used is, majority of the time, like, that's the main few right there that witches even write in. A lot of their words are Latin and Greek and stuff like that. Some people already know all that. So, proof real quick of a few songs. You can go and find these songs on YouTube by these artists, and again, for further proof that these songs are written in witch language and they're casting spells. You know, they all follow all of the music industry follows the belief system of Aleister Crowley. Wrote a book called The Book of the Law in 1904 in Egyptian. Aleister Crowley, which is a cult leader, satanic cult leader. A lot of your Freemasons, a lot of your famous people that do your music, they are Freemasons. You know, it's basically one big cult, and they write your music. They produce your movies. You know, Hollywood is another word. You know, that stands for Holly Tree. Holly is the name of a girl that, you know, and then tree, or wood, meaning like morning wood. So Holly Tree. You guys can go look that up. It's all tied, and it's all done on purpose. You know, sadly, like I said, if you want to be famous in Hollywood and get Grammy Awards or Oscar Awards, you have to sell your soul. You have to do these rituals in order to get these Grammys, in order to get these roles in movies. You have to do these witchcraft ceremony rituals. Okay? Hollywood, LA, New York, California, all that, you know, they're mostly rooted in those. So, again, real quick, I'm going to brush up on some of the lyrics of the words of the songs that are most, you know, they play them on the radio. So, the Katy Perry song called Dark Horse. A lot of people, you know, that sounds like a cool song, right? Like, I mean, I've heard it, you know, it's catchy. It catches you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it literally catches you, it grabs you. So, the Katy Perry song called Dark Horse. Now, this isn't, I'm just going to break down the lyrics of the songs and prove to you that these songs were written purposely to be placing spells. The song of Katy Perry called Dark Horse says, "You're so," or wait, no, that was another, that's a different, I think that's called Alien. That's another Katy Perry song that we'll get at that one second. So the first song called Dark Horse, it says, "Baby, do you dare to do this? Don't you know what you're falling for? Don't you know better than to play with magic? Because once you choose me, there's no going back." Now, that's the breaking down. You heard what I said just now. And if you didn't, rewind it a little bit and listen to it closely. That sounded very, very demonic to me. That, people right there, was literally in those lyrics, was Lucifer talking to Katy Perry, the artist, talking to the person that's even through your speakers. You know, even when you listen to it and you're singing along with that song. Baby, do you dare to do this? Don't you know what you're falling for? Don't you know better than to play with magic? Because once you choose me, there's no going back. Dan, 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 dan. It's a spell, people. This music is written in which language? Another one. Real quick, in the hip-hop, what's his name? Kanye West. It's got a song, says, I'm not gonna rap. Well, actually, yeah, rap it. Anyway, the lyrics to that song says, I sold my soul to the devil. I'm for real. But it wasn't worth it like a Happy Meal. Eminem said, I sold my soul to the devil and I'll never get it back. Katy Perry even said, backtrack on Katy Perry, in interviews, a bunch of them said, oh, well, at first, when I came into the music industry, you know, I wanted to be the Amy Grant of Christian music, you know. I wanted to be a Christian gospel singer, but it didn't work out, so I sold my soul to the devil. And people think they're joking. People, this is serious. This is for real. The English language is rooted in a thing called witch language. The music industry calls it incantations. And this material is being used to cast spells on people through your speakers. Share this video with your loved ones that listen to maybe even any of these artists that I've just mentioned. And be aware of this information, please. Do not just in one ear and out the other. Take this and note it. This is a warning from the Watchman, not another judgment. I love you all. May Yeshua bless you, and I will see you on part 2.